What's up, everybody? It's me, Erica. I was about to press the little button to start. I was like, wait, I already started. What's up? It's me, Erica. We are down here, honey. We are down here to talk about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I watched it last night, took a few notes. So let's talk about how the episode went. Go ahead and like, subscribe, comment. Let me know you stopped by. Check your subscribe. Make sure you're still subscribed. Ironically, I was watching somebody's video this morning, and was that yesterday or this morning? I don't know, but I was watching somebody's video and I realized that I wasn't subscribed. So make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, because sometimes YouTube, for whatever reason, they will unsubscribe you. So just make sure you're still subscribed, and thank you for subscribing. So let's get started. Overall, the episode was pretty good. The girls are fighting. I have some questions for Dorit at the end. So we get with Bazoma, and Keely is her partner, and they are not. I think they're exclusive. They're not just dating. I think they are exclusive to each other. They live in two different states, and he's scheduled a beach date for them. So they get out, they go sit down, he has everything laid out or whatever. They're talking about their relationship, and he asks her, what do you want from the relationship? And she basically said, from her previous relationship, you would think that she wouldn't want to deal with anybody at all, because the motherfucker was everything that is wrong with a man. He was a liar, he was a cheater. They showed the clip of where she was telling Erica and Jennifer that when she asked him, was he sleeping with his ex, he came out and told her. At least he told her the truth. At least he told her the truth. She says she appreciated that he wanted a level of honesty. I think when they first got together, she explained what her standards were and her needs were, and explained that. That's so funny that he mentioned dating for marriage, because I was talking to Diva yesterday and he was like, what do you think about when people say that they're dating for marriage? I said, I don't think it's, I don't know. I don't think it's, me, you know how I feel about marriage. Y'all know how I feel about marriage. So I'm like, dating, to me, I feel like dating should be like, oh, I want to meet interesting people, and so I'm going to date them. I'm not dating to be in a marriage, because also I feel like the time that y'all expect people to get married after dating for however long is a very short amount of time to legally attach yourself to somebody. Like, a lot of people have like you hear people like, after 2 years, after 5 years, if he hasn't asked you to marry him, it's like you want to be with somebody for 2 years, and then you're gonna make well, from the perspective that people take about marriage, a lifelong commitment to somebody, and you've only known them 2 years, 5 years, and now you want to legally tie yourself to this person. And then after 13 years, shout out to Twitch and Allison, you still don't know the motherfucker, girl. What? What? After 2 years, y'all want to get married? Okay. Are you sure? Do you even know this motherfucker for real? Right? So for me, I wouldn't advise or encourage somebody to date for marriage. I would date to get to know people, because you don't know, that person could be a good friend. They can turn out and be a good connect, like a business associate or something like that. You may realize like, oh, I don't want to date this person. I actually will probably be better friends with this person. But you have to date them and get to know them, and then get to know another person, and get to know another person, get to know people. There's so many people in this world. And dating for marriage, to me, I feel like is a little weird, because I'm like, after how much time do you let go by before you decide to legally tie yourself to a person? And is that enough time to actually go through with that? I've known you for 2 years. I want to spend the rest of my life with you.
I just, girl, stop.
Girl, let's take it 2 years at a time. I've known you for 2 years. I want to spend the next 2 years with you, girl, because I don't know. Life? No. for me, I think that's a ridiculous commitment to make to anything, a lifelong commitment, unless it's to God. That's it. Like, that's the only thing that I would see making a lifelong commitment to. Shout out to the nuns and monks, but that's what I would do if I was going to be a lifelong commit. Like me, I'm a lifelong commitment to God. Like, that's me. You might as well call me a nun. Can you imagine Sister Erica Dinero? Girl, can you imagine me as a nun, baby? I used to give them nuns hell in school, especially Sister Virginia Ann. Baby, when I tell you we used to terrorize that lady, she was already old. Baby, we would have, okay, during religion, I'm just going to tell you this quick little story. During religion class, Sister Virginia Ann, she was already losing it. She thought that Kennedy was the president. She was already old. Like, she was already old. She still thought Kennedy was the president. Okay. When she was telling us, in the beginning, in the front of the textbooks, how you put like the year and then in your name, and then you can always look back and see like who was here, but who was here before me, who had this book before me. And she told us to put 19 something. It was like, it wasn't 1980 whatever it was when I was in school. It was 1960 something or 50 something. We were like, girl, but we would terrorize that lady. We would turn the volume all the way up on the radio, so when it was time to sing our songs during the religion class, when she turned the radio, baby, when I tell you that lady jumped so far back, the radio volume was, it wasn't just me, it was all of us. I mean, when I tell you we terrorized that lady, she probably was like, oh my God, these 12-year-old girls are getting on my nerves. But we terrorized Sister Virginia Ann. Then we used to question Sister Catherine. Sister Catherine, she left the covenant, she left the convent. And she stopped. I don't know what happened. Everybody was shocked, like, what? She stopped? She's not a nun anymore? What was going on? Yes, Sister Catherine. Who else was? It's Sister Virginia Ann will always stay in my mind because we really terrorized that lady. We really did. Anyways, shout out to Sister Virginia Ann. But unless you're dedicating your life to God, that's why I said all that to say, girl, I don't feel like you dedicating your life to another human being. I think it's actually insane. I think it's insane. And so he says that's the only reason he dates. And where are we in that process? And so he basically kind of was like, yeah, I guess we're kind of there, but then kind of cut her off and didn't want to really talk about it, probably in front of the cameras, whatever. Dorit and Erica go have lunch. Dorit mentions that she can compartmentalize with her children, and her and PK would speak to each other very aggressively in arguments. And I don't want to live like that anymore. I don't know that I'm totally done with him though. Last night, um, Erica said the last night, it was so good last night when you cussed Camille out. And she was like, girl, I'm tired. That was a long time coming. And I've been too forgiving for too long. And I have allowed people to mistake my kindness for weakness. And she said, that's it. She said, and then Erica goes, what Sutton said. She was like, yeah, like saying that what was going on in my life, don't be mad at her because of what's going on in my life. She revealed how far she would go. It's so opposite to the sisterhood speech, and that's what everybody is saying about Sutton. Like, girl, we love the sisterhood. We're gonna read our sisterhood emails, but girl, you are not the messenger. You cannot be the one driving this because your behavior is outside of what we would consider a healthy sisterhood environment. So you're the wrong messenger, Sutton. Sutton is the wrong messenger. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like maybe who's the Cancer of the group? I feel like the Cancer always takes the mama role. Virgos sometimes take the mom role, but they take the tough mom role, and that's Sutton. Like, Virgos, I guess, and it also depends on where your moon is, but Virgos can be like almost like, it's almost like we're caring, but it's like we want to. It has to be practical. It has to make sense. And sometimes the shit y'all be saying don't make sense, and so it's like frustrating. It's just like, girl, that doesn't even make sense. You really mad at ba ba ba. Don't be mad at me, but you shouldn't say that, right? Especially when your friend is like in a crisis, going through a divorce and stuff like that. sometimes we just say it and it's not like Virgos can be mean, like it comes off as mean, like damn you mean, and it really be like we really do care, but it's like girl, snap out of it, like this is dumb, like it has to make sense. But we could be very sensitive too, you understand what I'm saying? But it really depends on where your moon is. um it's so opposite of the sisterhood speech. Sutton has moved from Erica to Kyle, now to Dorit. Dorit says she's tired of that pattern with Sutton. They're gonna call Sutton out. Bose calls Sutton out later. She gets her. She gets her. Garcelle is at her beach house. She said if you would have told her, I love Garcelle's house. I love it. They did another, review of. You can go on YouTube, and she does give a tour. I think on Bravo.com. I think it was Bravo. I don't know who it was. I believe it was Bravo, but she gave a tour of her beach house. It's really nice. It's really nice. I love the deck. I just love the way it's laid out, and the design. Whoever did the design was really good. I love it. I think it is a perfect house. I love the deck. I love it, and she has like kind of a deck in her main house, and wherever she lives in LA. And so yeah, it's a really nice house. Her sons came over, and the girlfriend, whose daughter is that? That's the comedian's daughter. He recently passed last year. I can't remember. Dave. His name is David, I think, but that's his daughter. He's a comedian and a writer. And they were all sitting down. Her son, what's his name? Oliver was there with his son, so Garcelle's grandchild. She said if you would have told her, as a little Haitian girl, if you would have told her that she would have the success that she has, being a working actor in Hollywood, to be with her children, share her home with her friends, she would have never believed you. She gets to talking about her oldest son, Oliver. He was in a dark place. He was addicted. She had to show him tough love, and there was a time when he was homeless. Girl, when she started telling this story, I was like, oh my God. I'm sure there are so many parents who can share with Garcelle that pain of seeing your adult child make these choices that are detrimental to them, and then you having to stand firm in your boundaries and not allow them in your proximity. Like you have to allow them, like you can't come here, you can't. And there's so many people that will be like, okay, come on in, but you got to draw boundaries. You have to draw boundaries. You can't enable the behavior. So when she was sharing the story that one night her and her friend were, in her house, they were having a conversation, then they heard something in the back, and Oliver was trying to get into the beach house. She was like, basically he was in his full addiction. She said she looked at him, but it wasn't him, it was just his body. He was gone, basically. She said and she wouldn't open the door for him. She didn't open the door for him. She was telling him, Oliver, just leave, just leave, just leave, just leave. And then she watched him walk away. She didn't take him in. She says, I felt so much guilt for that. And I'm thankful for his son, basically. He kind of, I don't know, maybe that helped Oliver realize, like, hey, I got something else to live for. I need to get myself together. We know that I don't know if he still works in Las Vegas at Lisa Vanderpump's restaurant in Las Vegas. That's where he worked. Remember when Raquel and them went over there and Lala was trying to like Oliver, but Raquel ended up making out with him. And then Lala was like, girl, I wouldn't trust you around my man. You drunk. I wouldn't trust you around my man. Raquel said, well, that's good. Good thing you don't have a man. Girl, she was done with her after that. They was like, girl, what did she just say to you? Good thing you don't have a man that I could take from you, bitch. Good thing you don't have to not trust me around your man because you don't even have one. Well, I tell you, Lala was pissed. Anyways, he's in a great place and he's a great dad, Garcelle said. So good, glad to see that Oliver is doing well, doing better, whatever. So they were sitting down and having, lunch or dinner or whatever. Dorit and Bose, Dorit and Bose, and I wrote Bazomba here. Bazoma. I said Bazoma. I keep putting a B at the end. Bazoma. Basma. Is that what it is? Okay. She said Dorit likes to talk and I like to listen. Dorit works down to Rodney's place long-winded whole production. She works over there on the weekends because I'm telling you, Dorit talks and talks and talks and talks and talks and talks and talks. Everybody says how much Dorit talks. So Boz says she likes to. Bose says she likes to listen. She said that she sits down. Dorit's parents are there, Shalom, and I can't remember her. I just remember her father's name because it's Shalom, and I don't remember her mother's name. But you see her father, the way he looked at Bose when she walked in, he was looking like, God damn, she's tall. She's just real tall and just she's beautiful. So he was like, he's a little short man. He was like, go back and watch the way he looked at her when she walked through the door. She was like, nice to meet you, and this and that. So they go outside. She introduces her to the kids too. They go outside and they sit down. Dorit gets right into it. And Dorit says that her and PK had a 4-hour therapy session. She said PK came into battle and he said in the therapy session, and this is why I want a divorce. I don't want to be married to this woman. She said she was blindsided. It looked like Dorit was about to cry. Like she was like, what? Like, and the way that they shot it, I felt like I really wish they would have not cut it. Like, I really wish they would have panned out for both of them so we could see both of their reactions and let Dorit just talk. But the way that they were cutting from her to Bose is it like it just didn't feel, it felt fragmented to me. And it looked like Dorit at one point was about to cry. She said she was blindsided. That whiplash is hard to take. She said he stormed out and slammed the door. And she said, and that's when she realized, bitch, I need to have a plan because this motherfucker is too unpredictable. So, in thinking about that, she talks about Kyle's party, right? Bose brings it up. Kyle's party. She was like, Camille, she didn't know Camille. So she was like, the girl Camille or whatever. She was like, that was a long time coming with Camille. And Kyle does that. Everybody has clocked Kyle. What Kyle will do is when she has a problem with you, she will bring somebody who is no longer on the show, that is her friend, to the event. She used to do it with Teddy, right? She did it with Camille. Why Camille was there? Why did you invite Camille? And then you did not tell Dorit that Camille was going to be there. Now, granted, she doesn't have to tell. That's her party. She doesn't have to tell Dorit who's going to be there. But we know the reason why Camille is there is to go after Dorit. And she went after Dorit. And Dorit was like, why are you here, girl? Shut up. You make the people wait. So what? Girl, who are you? Why are you here? You want a moment? I'm glad she let her have it. And she called her a see you next Tuesday as well. She says, and Sutton, right? So Bose gets on Sutton. She said that hurt her to hear her say, you're just angry with your life. You're not angry with me. You're just angry with your life. That's the hard part of friendship, when you are vulnerable with someone and then, like I say, they're violent with your vulnerability. Once I find out, for me, this is just a rule for me, that you've been violent with my vulnerability, I will make sure that you're never in position for me to be vulnerable with you again. And that's typically because I'm not vulnerable with too many people. Me myself personally, not too many people, because I've had experiences, so I know how to move now, right? When it comes to that, I know what to share. For me, I share things with people that if they were to repeat it, I wouldn't give a damn, right? Because I know how people talk. So I know if I hear how you talk and I hear how you talk to me about other people, that it might not be something that you should be telling me, I'm gonna take note and I'm gonna make sure to put you in that position too. Oh, you like to go around talking about people's pain, like Bran on New York. I don't like that chick. Every single time you tell her something, she goes right back to the person and she tells them. There are times in friendships where we are talking about friends in the friend group, but there's typically a level of concern, right? Not this you're getting, like, being violent with the vulnerability, being mean about it, right? That's how they feel that Sutton is doing, and Sutton weaponized the person's vulnerability against them. I thought it was funny that Sutton didn't understand what weaponized was, and what's her name had to explain it to her later. We'll get into that. yeah, so basically that's what she was sharing with Bose, because yeah, and I agree. Like I said, if you are violent with my vulnerability, you'll never get a chance to get close to me enough for me to be vulnerable with you. I will keep it very surface with you. I remember in a friendship, long time friendship, over 15 years, and I was really vulnerable. I was going through a lot, and I shared with that person. I shared with that person, and they went behind my back and were telling complete strangers, not sharing with other friends, like, oh, really? I'm concerned about Erica. She's in this relationship. Bah, 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 bah. No, you went to a stranger, even so that the stranger came to me and was like, is that your confidant? I was like, why? Because she's telling me, y'all barely know me. She's telling me all your business. I was like, oh, I never confronted her. But what I did, and I should have confronted her, but we were already, it was almost like it was close to the end of I was realizing that she's not really a friend. She hasn't really been there for me. She's not there for me. So it was on their way out, and I needed a friend, and she was a longtime friend, and I was sharing with her. But then I found out that she was basically reveling in what I was going through and telling everybody my business, and telling not our mutual friends, but strangers. When a stranger comes to you and be like, girl, this is, and like sharing with you the shit that you're ashamed about and you shared with a friend, that's very jarring. And I was fucking pissed. And bitch, I will never get close to you. I just slowly started backing away from her. When she would ask me what was going on in the situation that I had shared with her, everything's fine. It's fine. It's nothing. I got it under control. I will never share anything with you again. You will always be a surface level person. If I talk to you, it will be a surface level friend type of relationship. That's how I feel about it. Erica is hiring Martin Lauren Billard. He was on $1 Million Decorators. Do you remember him? I remember when I heard his voice, I was like, oh, he looks different. Of course, it looks like he has a little, like he's being pulled back, a little nip and tuck. Um, and Erica is basically wanting to redecorate her house, and we'll see. Erica lives in Hancock Park. I like her bungalow. She lives in a bungalow. I think it's so cute. I love that bungalow. And it's going to be cute. I have a feeling it's going to be cute. That backyard needs to be done. She has that outdoor space that needs to be done. I can't wait. Hopefully that is at the end of the episode. Hopefully Erica has the money to get the things that she wants so she can have, we can get a reveal of her new place at the, I feel like that's her storyline, right? Coming out of all of this, she says she left with her furniture in the middle of the night, right? She dropped Tom off at work and never was heard from again, girl. And so now it's her, she wants to feel like, it's time for me to like let go of this stuff, right? And to start anew. I'm coming out of hiding, and I want my home to reflect that. So shout out to Erica. I don't know, he was like, even though he said, even though you don't have $1 billion, we're going to make it look $1 billion, and I'm sure he's going to make it look really really nice. um they go into her room, and he was like, are you, what did he say, are you dating, are you trying to get laid? And she was like, yeah. And he was like, not in this room. It was just very plain, so I can't wait to see what they're going to do. And hopefully that's like at the end of the season we can see Erica's reveal, or even in the middle of the season or whatever. But I feel like that's part of Erica's storyline. So they go to the Viper Room. The Viper Room is a very, very, very famous spot where people go and perform. Everybody goes to perform. There are the rockers and stuff like that. People go to the Viper Room. Very famous place. It was funny that Kyle was like, "I've never been to the Viper Room." The Viper Room, most famously Johnny Depp, River Phoenix, all of them. I'm telling my age. They all used to go to the Viper Room. River Phoenix actually died in front of the Viper Room, overdosed and died in front of the Viper Room. Yeah, River Phoenix. So the Viper Room is very famous. A lot of people have gone through there, performed there, but Erica is not going to be performing there. They're doing this Pride event, and she's going to premiere her single. So she was like go on stage, but like pumping the people up about the single, and the single was called Domino. Jennifer Tilly said, it's not, I'm not sure about the lyrics, but it's, it sounds like it has a catchy beat. She was like, I don't think the lyrics is what's gonna get the people. But anyways, um, it says Bose had some good insight on uh PK and Dorit's situation. And oh, she wanted to know if Kyle and PK, since they're friends, so this is what Dorit was saying earlier. Because he's so predictable and unpredictable, PK, that she feels like his friendship with Kyle, and they share memes and stuff going back and forth, that she needs to cut it off because she doesn't know if PK is trying to get information on her from Kyle, right? So she wants to find out if Kyle is still speaking to PK since they've separated, right? And so she wants to know if Kyle and PK are still speaking. Do they speak now? I wouldn't put it past PK. She doesn't know if he wants to get details from Kyle about her life. Now we know how men can be. We know how people can be when they're in divorce, men and women both. So I'm gonna call Kyle and shoot the shit with her and see what if she said anything, if Dorit has said anything. You know how people are, and because you have that familiarity, you don't think, and you might start saying stuff that you shouldn't be saying that Dorit doesn't want him to know, right? We're not a couple anymore. So I feel like this. I feel like if Dorit just went to Kyle, well, I'll get to that. He can get information. So Kyle and Kesha are cool. I had to go look up Kesha's age to figure out if it was if she was too young. Kesha is 37, is almost a 40-year-old woman, so she can hang out with Kyle. They met on Instagram in the DMs and they hanging out. I really literally looked up to go see how old Kesha was to make sure it was the friendship was made sense, girl. So she was like, let the rumors start. So Kesha, Kesha was giving Dorit her flowers about, she was like, I love your outfit. What is that? What is that? I think she said Paco Rabanne. She was like, yes, it's vintage. She was like, oh, you're always a fashion girl. Okay. So Sutton, checking my microphone. Sutton and Bose speakers, Bose. Sutton and Bose. Is Dorit saying stuff to her? Because I feel like it's a little prickly. That's what Jennifer Tilly said to Sutton about Bose. It's a little prickly with you and Bose. And then Sutton says maybe Dorit is sharing with her what's going on. Not only is she sharing with her, but she's watching your actions as well. Like Bose be looking at Sutton like, girl, you are a mess. She'd be looking at her like, when she was going off, she was doing this, she was looking at her like, girl, a mess. And then did you see the way that Sutton was looking at Dorit when her and Kyle were yelling at each other? Go back and watch Sutton the entire time Kyle and Dorit are yelling at each other. Because she's looking at Dorit. And then when Kyle says, it's over, I'm over it, it's always something with you, and you can see Sutton like going back and forth like with the cadence of Kyle's voice. I was like, girl, Sutton is a mess. Sutton is a mess. She is. And I'm glad they calling her out. I don't think it's so bad. I don't think it's like this awful, she's this awful person. She has some things to work on. She does. Her delivery, she does. And that thing where she told Dorit, you just mad at me for what's going on in your life, girl, shut the fuck up. And then you want to flip it and talk about because I've been through it too. No, well, you need to remember how it felt. Like, be a little kinder. But she's a Virgo. I don't know. It's just the delivery. Sometimes it's just a little bit, it little. It is prickly, right? It is a little bit prickly. When Bo shows up, she has this bracelet on, like a sun. It looks like like a sundial, like it comes out. It's like 3D, right? And it like a disc, right? And she has her hand in it, but it's like coming out like a disc. They were doing something, and Kyle's finger got caught in the spaces in the disc, right? And then she says, somebody says, who says it? Oh, Jennifer Tilly says, is it a bracelet or is it a weapon? And then Sutton goes to Bose. Yes, don't weaponize it against me, right? Playing on what she said, because she didn't like what she said the other day. She didn't like that she said, I think it was like the night before, the 2 nights before, that she weaponized Dorit's vulnerability. So everybody was looking crazy because Sutton said that. Bo says that Sutton doesn't want to attack me first. That's not the strategy that you want to take with me. I said, I know that's right, bitch. Let that bitch know. Let her know. So then she says, Sutton goes over to the bar with Bose. Sutton says, I didn't like that word weaponize. But Bose explains what weaponize means. It literally sounded like she didn't understand what it meant. And like she explained it to her again. And then Sutton goes, because you speak so eloquently, like you get me together. I really wish they would have showed the whole thing. Because she goes, you speak so eloquently. And we know that when white people say that to black people, they're trying to say, oh, you're so well spoken, you're so articulate, you're so this. So it can be seen as a microaggression. In this instance, I really feel like Sutton did not understand what weaponize and the word weapon. She was like, "Hold up, I'm not. What do you mean?" You know what you did, Sutton, and I'm explaining it. And I don't think anybody has ever explained it to Sutton. Like you took what that woman said and you used it against her. You used it as a weapon. You weaponized her vulnerability against her. She said, and then Sutton goes, I didn't say that to hurt her. She said, but you did. She said, I felt it in the moment. And then she goes, I know that you're angry. She was like, no, I wasn't angry. I was defensive. And then Sutton says, if Bose were to put as much energy into our relationship than she does with Dorit, she might understand my point of view and wouldn't jump in and confuse words like weapon and insult me. I honestly believe that Sutton has never heard it put that way, that you are weaponizing somebody's words against you. And I know a lot of people are like, that was a microaggression. That was a microaggression. And she says, because they were basically like, we both have big vocabularies. And the way you put it so eloquently, but what you said was like, damn, she weaponized the lady's vulnerability. It was very impactful. I don't think Sutton has ever heard it put that way before. And I said, just because you don't like the definition of a word doesn't mean that that person is confused by the word that they use to describe you. Period. You don't like the way the word weapon sounds when it's being used about you. You don't like the way it sounds. So let me I don't think you use the right word. Yes, I use the right word, and let me explain to you how I use the right word. Well, you speak so eloquently, and then Bo says, I know you have a big vocabulary. What she says, oh, she's you speak so eloquently, I'm learning. This is what Sutton said. She says, I know you have a wide vocabulary. And she says, I'm realizing, this is what Sutton says. And then Boss says, you're super smart, and which makes you dangerous. She says, I don't know if Sutton is Delulu or she just very mean and calculated. Will the real Slim Sutton stand up? Bitch, who are you? And I really don't think, I like a lot of people said it was a microaggression, because we don't, I'm just going to speak plainly. White people stop telling black people they speak so eloquently, not eloquently, articulate. It's almost that you don't know how to speak well. Oh my God, you speak so well. It's rude. Don't do that. Don't, I don't care what it is. If you are non-black, don't tell a person of color or a black person that they speak so well. Don't say that. You're so articulate. Don't say that. As if to make a suggestion that the person doesn't have a lengthy lexicon. They don't have the words, but you do have the words, and you're really smart. And I feel like because Sutton is smart, right, and has the vocabulary, she never heard that weaponized put like that against her. And you using the word weapon with me, maybe you were confused. No, 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 no. I wasn't confused. I know exactly what the fuck I was saying. And just because you don't like the definition of how you being of the word that you're being described at doesn't mean that it doesn't apply to you. It does. And what you did is called weaponizing. You used something that somebody told you against them. You weaponized her vulnerability. Period. That's it. So the song Domino comes on. Jennifer Tilly says, I don't think it's going to win any awards for lyrics, but I think it's a catchy tune. Y'all tell me what y'all think. I'm sure a lot of y'all think that it was a microaggression. But if you go back and look at it, they're like basically saying we both have big vocabularies. And I really wish they would have showed it, because it makes it look like the editors make it look like it was a microaggression. Everybody knows when you tell a Black person you speak eloquently, articulately, that it is a microaggression. You're trying to say we don't have the words. You just don't know how. You've never heard this word used like this against you. Doesn't mean that doesn't mean that Boz was confused. Doesn't mean that she was confused. It means that you just haven't heard it described like that before. And you did that. Because she explained it. She goes, no, what you did was, and she explained it to her. Dorit says to Kyle, have you spoken to PK? They're all sitting at the table. No, we just send memes and jokes to each other. We don't share any relationship. We don't have talks about the relationship. I thought that they were probably connecting on the alcoholism thing, but she said no. It's the misuse of alcohol. But she said no, they just literally just send memes and laugh back and forth with each other. We don't talk like that. Even now, maybe just within the last week, just memes. So she says, you're texting my husband when you and I aren't good. It's not okay. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about that. When you and your girlfriend are not good, and she's going through a separation with her husband, are you still talking to the husband even though y'all are all friends? She says, I would expect you to share that with me. And then Kyle says, well, I'm a girl's girl. I will always side with you. There's no question about that. PK didn't share any of what you're telling me. He didn't share any of that with me. And if the tables were turned, you would not be okay if I was talking to Mo. Maybe she said she didn't care. I don't know, Kyle. I don't know. Would you care if Dorit, because there have been rumors about Dorit and Mauricio, right? Oh, they coming together. They're getting closer to each other, right? Look at the way Dorit looks at Mauricio. Why does she hug him like that? When da da da, all of this stuff, right? So I don't know if Kyle would feel a certain way if Dorit started talking to Mauricio, especially when we're not cool with each other, right? She says, I'm trying to shield my children. Then Sutton goes, you can't shield your children forever. And she goes, what does that mean? I don't plan on shielding them forever. She says, don't get mad at me. She said, well, that's a pretty strong statement. Don't touch the kids, basically. That's what Garcelle said. Sutton says, I'm just saying we had this conversation. She says, is that the same conversation where you told me to lean on you? She says, yeah. Girl, read the room. Yeah, that's the same time after I told you to lean on me and then I cussed you out the next day. Girl, no, that's not how it goes. You're gonna have to take a different approach. Period. She says, I'm telling you, I meant what I said and I meant it from the bottom of my heart. And you should believe that. And she said, and I should believe that based on your actions. And what have you done that you're always screaming at me, yelling at me? Remember? Okay. That's what I said. That's what I'm my notes are intertwined, what I was thinking. When they were coming back from San Diego, Dorit yelled at Sutton, and Sutton said, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Remember? Now you yelling at her. That's why people like Sutton, you can't, you're not the girl for the sisterhood. No, you're not the spokesperson. You're not a good spokesperson for it. You're just not, girl. You're just not. You're just not. So now it's Sutton and Dorit going back and forth. She says, what have I done to you? And for you to scream at her. And I said, but didn't she just get mad at her for screaming at her at San Diego? She says, what have I ever done to you? Erica chimes in and says, I think it's what you said to her at Kyle's house, right? Your life is bad and that's why you're angry. And she said, yes, that's why she's angry, because her life is bad right now. I've been there. I was defending her. She says, if I call you, no, she says, if you call, I will be there for you. That's what I'm saying. If you call me, I will be there for you. She says, why would I call a person who was kicking me while I'm down. She goes, just forget it. Forget it then. We don't have to be friends. We can just be cordial. You don't have to call me, blah, blah, blah. Sutton is going off, right? And I don't even know where it's coming from. I'm like, Sutton, girl, relax. Sutton was really mad. I don't think I've ever seen Sutton like mad, like flustered and mad like that. Like her hair was moving and everything. Like, relax. Why are you so mad? Like, why are you so mad at Dorit? She should be mad at you because you're the one that's talking shit to her after telling her to lean on you. Girl, I'm not leaning on you. You kicked me while I was down. Don't be mad at me because your life is a mess. What she tell her? Girl, fuck you. I'm not leaning on you. And then she goes, just forget it. Just forget it. We could just be cordial. And then Erica said in her confessional, see, I told you it was all bullshit. We aren't friends. Fine. I'll be cordial with you at the table. We aren't friends. Kyle says, okay, can we just start now being cordial then? And then she said, okay, let's get back to us, right? And then Sutton goes, yeah, talk to your real friend. Talk to your real friend. I'm like, damn, Sutton, shut your ass up. Sutton, I don't know what's going on with Sutton, but like I said, I've never, have any of you seen her yell like that at anybody? I'm like, why are you so mad at Dorit? I don't know. I don't know, but it's just more proof that you're the wrong person to take the charge for the Sisterhood email. You just are. Back to us, Dorit and Kyle. If I thought it bothered you, I wouldn't have done it. You've laughed about it, right? You've laughed about it. If it bothers you, I don't need to do it. Where does this come from? I feel like we are really good in our friendship now. Now she has to dig this up so she can have something. It's not the texting, it's that you don't tell me. It's not cool. So now I'm going to ask Dorit. You know that they text back and forth. You said it to Bose. You know that they do. Kyle says you've even laughed about it before. Your stance is, well, now that me and my husband are on the outs, I don't want you talking to him because he might try to get information off of you. Now she's telling Kyle, it's because you haven't told me that you're still talking to him. To me, she says, let me go through the notes. It's not the texting that it's that you don't tell me. PK has been a better friend. This is what Kyle says. PK has been a better friend to her than Dorit has lately. I don't know that I would send you a text and not send Mo a text. I'm done. I'm done. Wait. I need clarity. This is Dorit. What do you need clarity for? What are you done with, right? I'm done. I'm not doing this with you. I tried to fix it with you. She says, as am I. As am I. And then Kyle says, but you're so fucking bitter. She said, bitter? She says, all I'm doing is asking you not to speak to me when your veins are popping out of your fucking head. She said, I apologize. I said it to you. I will not talk to him again. She said, I want you to stop raising your fucking voice at me. She's like, you don't get to speak to me that way. You understand, Kyle? The rules are different. I went back, I rewound that scene so many times because I was trying to hear what they were saying. I wanted to hear what they were saying. Kyle is like this. When I tell you, y'all see the vein when I be laughing and stuff, I have a vein. Kyle's veins were literally popping out of her head. She was not speaking figuratively. She said, if you go back and watch, I pause it and like her entire, like she looked like she was enraged. I won't do it. Fuck it. I won't do it. I won't do it. I'm done. I'm done. Pissed off. What do you want? What more do you fucking want from me? I want you to stop raising your fucking voice at me. You don't get to speak to me that way. Do you understand, Kyle? The rules are different. Go back and look at the way Kyle was looking at Dorit. She was looking at her like Kyle looked like she had tears in her eyes, but she was looking at Dorit like, bitch, I am so fucking mad at you right now, bitch. And it was like they were really mad at each other. And then when they pan out, I think it is such an odd thing to see those cameramen. It's such an odd like scene, right? To see those cameramen and all the lights that they have on them, right? And then like other people are around in the Viper room and they're sitting in this booth with like two cameramen, lights and everything, having this argument. It's just, I can't even imagine being on the outside of the cameras in the spot and looking at that, like, what the fuck is going on over there? Why are they yelling and doing all that, screaming and hollering? And those men are right there with the cameras. It just looks so weird to me. She says, Dorit says, you don't get to scream, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Kyle says, shut up. And then Erica says, all right, that's enough, that's enough. Erica's over there dealing with Dorit and all that foolishness. And that was the end of the episode. Girl, what do y'all think? Sutton, they right on the money. Do y'all think it was a microaggression, or do you think that Sutton was confused? I really think if you go back and watch it, she said, because I wrote it down, she says, you can speak so eloquently. I'm learning. That's what she said. I know you have a wide vocabulary. That's what Bo said to Sutton. And then what's her name says, I'm realizing. Sutton says, I'm realizing. And then Bo says, you're super smart. You're super smart and you have a wide vocabulary. We both do, basically. They're both saying we have a wide vocabulary. I just think, y'all let me know. I think a lot of people are going to take, a lot of Black people are going to take that as a microaggression, just to speak plainly about it. But I really think it was, I really think it was Sutton not understanding the word weaponized and the way that she used it. Because even in that moment, she was like, that's not what I'm doing. Yes, it is. That's exactly what you're doing. And then Bose goes on to explain what weaponized means. So we'll see. We'll see. A lot of, like I said, a lot of you probably think that it was a microaggression. I don't know. I don't, like I said, I went back and I watched it and I was like, I don't know that it is, but we'll see. But at the end of the day, you weaponize that lady's vulnerability against her. Number one. Number two, and your actions are showing that you are not the person to lead the charge on the Sisterhood email. Okay. Shout out to Drea Kelly. You didn't read your Sisterhood email? That's where I got that from. That's what me and Diva say to each other. If he ain't heard from me, he'd be like, girl, did you read your Sisterhood email? Where are you? Are you my friend? Are we friends? Did you read your Sisterhood email? So that's basically what the gist of it is. Do you think Kyle should stop texting PK? Right? Kyle says, I'm a girl's girl. Well, I don't know if you're a girl's girl because you signed paperwork from your husband that you don't even read. You're the one waiting to go talk to a divorce attorney as well. Both of you. I don't know. Have you ever seen your husbands upset? Do you see how they deal with other people they're upset with? So what do you think they're going to do when they're upset with you? Being unpredictable, trying to get information from people. I don't know. We don't know PK. Does he seem like he would do some shit like that? Maybe. I really want to know. I really want to know how Dorit and him speak to each other. Because he said at that restaurant, if we spoke to the service staff the way we speak to each other, they would kick us out of here. He says that she emasculates him. I want to hear what Dorit says. You saw Dorit yelling at Kyle. I was like, ooh, that's what she looks like. They were really yelling at each other. And I was like, girl, this is too much. Too much. Anyways, y'all, that was the end of the episode. Tell me what you think. This review is too long. Take care of each other. Protect your energy. Let's get down in the comments. Peace.